What's up, homieverse? Welcome to this week's edition of The Weekly Pulls. My name's Derek. Like, subscribe, share, comment, follow us on Twitter at The Weekly Pulls, at the Tevin minus the I, at Z13, Ricky Z, The Weekly Pulls Podcast. We are growing. Today's Saturday, August the 14th. For those of you that were fortunate enough to not have it canceled again this year, you know what day it is. Free Comic Book Day. Awesome! This was my first free comic book day in probably like 15 years. My last one, I was like 11 or 12 years old, so it was super cool. Shout out to Josh at the boardroom. It was a great time, lots of great books, great discounts. Me and Tevin even made some new friends. It was a great time. Support your local comic shop. Without them, what do we got? Nothing. This video is another segment in my series of Indie Comic Spotlights. Number 6. Guys, this is insane. Thank every single one of you, past, present, future, that have sent me or will be sending me your books to review on my channel. This is amazing. I love it. I love to read, and I've been getting nothing but amazing books. This is the largest indie spotlight I've had yet. 8 submissions.
Bro, that's almost 2 hands worth.
It is insane. I love it. Thank each and every single one of you. Enough about me and my weekend. Let's get started on the books. First up, for my friend Nate Taylor, he inboxed me Willy Wonka and the Death Factory. It is exactly what it sounds like. Different perspective rendition of the classic Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. In this story, Charlie is not this sweet, innocent boy. He's a bit of a menace. He's mean to people, he's breaking stuff, destroying stuff. Grandpa Joe, he's not a great influence either. Grandpa Joe is telling Charlie stories about how he used to work for Mr. Wonka and things became violent. The Oompa Loompas were killing employees. I mean, this is nuts, and I really enjoy it. I love getting fresh perspectives on old stories. This is a lot of fun. Nate, thank you so much for sharing your book with us. Every single comic I show in this video, I'm going to be leaving links for all the Kickstarters, websites, everywhere that you can get your hands on any of these books here. That way, if anything does catch your eye that you just absolutely are dying to have, I've already got the links for you. This next comic, the Chronog Saga Boy. This book is insane just for the sheer fact the man that sent it to me, Patrick Magnerius. Hope I didn't butcher your name, dude. He's from Sweden. He did everything in this book, you guys. Wrote it, illustrated it, lettered it, everything. This is his baby. Absolute insanity. And, not to mention, this book is loosely based on an RPG that he himself created back in like 1992. So this is insane. This story is a concept that has been in the works since 92. Fantastic. This is a fantasy epic. Their main goal is to storm this crag where the city Orcathuga lies. This is a beautiful comic. The art is fantastic. Patrick, you're a madman, dude. If you're into fantasy, RPG style games, Dungeons and Dragons, anything like that, the Chronog is for you. This story was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. Good friends over at ASAP Comics in the UK. Much love to the UK, guys. Writer P.A. Hayden, he sent me his book, Messiah. Also with Kyle Wright. This was a really fun comic. X-Files kind of mixed with The Bourne Ultimatum. We have this main character, he's got these powers, he doesn't know where he got them from. He's in this lab, he's aided to escape. There's these 2 men hunting him down, known as the Button Men. Kind of almost an Agent Smith vibe from The Matrix, but more Godfather Tarantino. Me personally, when I read it, they kind of reminded me of Pinky and the Brain, except they were both Pinky and the Brain themselves, because they were both really smart, but yet they were still making mistakes that were pretty amateur. Messiah, ASAP Comics, they're doing great stuff over there. They actually have a novel out on their website as well. Links all below for everything in this video. 80s, thank you so much for sending me Messiah, buddy. I said when I started making these indie videos, I would never show any bias or play any favorites. I might have to break this rule this time. Mashbone and Grifty from Oscar Garza and Rolando Esquivel. This was probably the funniest comic that I've read in a long time. This book is downright hilarious. I was almost in tears when I was reading it. I was laughing so hard. Maybe it's just my specific taste in comedy, but I would give this to anybody. Age appropriate, of course. Mashbone and Grifty follows our main characters, Mashbone and Grifty, and they start their own detective agency working outside of this diner where they owe a really high tab that they're never going to pay. And they find themselves in these really unfortunate situations trying to help people. In the first issue, this man comes to them screaming that he's lost his cock for cockfighting. It was just so funny, all of the different plays on words and the innuendos. It wasn't in your face, perverted, nasty. It was just enough. It kind of gave me a Bob's Burgers vibe, just because it's not South Park per se. It's not in your face, F-bombs, F-bombs, F-bombs. There's little subtle here and there. This is sexual and you know it. But if you gave it to a child, they probably wouldn't understand the joke. Mashbone and Grifty have absolutely no business being detectives. It's so funny to read their dialogue because they're best friends. I love the dynamic that they give these two characters here. I absolutely adore Mashbone and Grifty. If you want something funny, something fresh, check this out, you guys. I absolutely loved it. Rise of the Kung Fu Dragon Master from Chris Mancini, Fernando Pinto, Troy Pateri, and Brian Augustin. This comic was a lot of fun. This was a homage to the 80s Kung Fu film, and it really gave me that. This story follows Rick. He's a small-time crook. Him and his best friend, they end up stealing this urn. They have no idea it's magical. Who would? How are you supposed to tell an urn is magical? Rick takes the urn home with him. He is then possessed by this Kung Fu dragon. Now he has to become this unlikely hero that was never to be. It's a lot of fun, plenty of action. There's some really funny dialogue in here. They did a nice job of mixing different genres in here. Story has some nice familiar elements to it, yet it's still 100% original in itself. If you're like me and you like to watch anything Bruce Lee, Kung Fu Hustle, any of the old school Kung Fu movies, this is a great comic and I highly recommend it. Fletcher Cross, The Multiverse Awaits, sent to me by Kyler Merrill. This book has a massive creative team. 20 plus indie creators. Insane. This is a massive anthology following the main character Fletcher Cross. He is the inventor of the Dimensionalizer. He then takes it, then goes through this insane journey through the multiverse. This is a lot of fun, tons of different art because like I said, there's 20 different creators on this book, different artists and different writers for each story, and they're a lot of fun. They're beautiful. There's stories in here to make you question morale and what's right and what's wrong. This is a really fun story. Fans of sci-fi, action, wholesome story, this is for you. Multiverse is a hot topic in Marvel right now. It's a hot topic in this story as well. I loved it. It's fantastic. Wulfsbane, Aaron Jordan, Thomas Mazzell, Alexander Cutry, Justice Wright. This is a really fun comic. It's a detective story mixed with noir, and on top of that, the supernatural. Beginning of the story, our main character shows up to a crime scene. He's not exactly sure what he's walking into. They have a witness. He's very hesitant. She's terrified. She has no idea what she's seen. Turns out, it's a whole werewolf. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the comic. It read really well. Panel to panel, it was fantastic. Fans of crime, supernatural, noir, this is a fantastic comic. The World, My Arena, from Chiral Comics, Kang Jing, Alan Bay, and Tara Clarkson. This is a real coming-of-age story. Our main character, Nathan, he's an overweight teenage boy. He's getting bullied at school intensely, to the point he almost kills himself. He is then saved by the janitor, who then takes him under his wing and trains him to fight back. This is a really great story. Everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody in this world has been made to feel small by somebody else at some point in their life, and every single person can relate to this comic. I had a lot of fun with this. It read really well. This is a great story. Nathan does everything for his little sister. He's fighting for her. He's trying to do the right thing, and he finds himself questioning what is the right thing. This really is a story of the battle within ourselves, and it's fantastically told. This is one of my favorite black and white comics that I've read. It's a really great comic. Definitely worth checking out. That does it for this week. Thank you so much to each and every single one of you that has sent me your books for this video. Links are all on the bottom, you guys. If there's anything in here that you want to read, follow the links. Follow the Kickstarters, back the Kickstarters. Every indie comic deserves funded. Every Kickstarter, every Indiegogo. I want comics in every home, and I want comics in every hand. It's the greatest medium out there, and we all need to be supporting these guys. Follow us on Twitter, at The Weekly Pulls, at the Tevin minus the I, at Z13, Ricky Z. Follow The Weekly Pulls podcast. Last week we interviewed the writer of Nottingham, David Hazan. This morning we had the pleasure to interview Megan Wong from Rangers of the Divide. We've got more guests coming up. We've got more exciting things happening. The Weekly Pulls is expanding. Thank each and every single one of you for your continued support. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time.